us taking this thing
serious. Hey, everybody. Welcome to, of course, a new edition of Box Seats. You caught us in the middle conversation there for a hot second. Anyway, today is what? What day is today? Today's Wednesday? Today's Thursday.
It's Wednesday. All day. It's hump day.
I'm losing track of the day. Anyway, I'm Frank Holder. That's Talent. That's Fig. If you've been watching the show for a long time, I don't need to give you guys no introduction of who they are. You know, their resume speaks for itself. Right, guys? How you guys doing this morning?
Yeah. You know what it is. How you doing?
All right. Now, for sake of people who say we don't talk about other sports, first thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm cueing in Rodney Perry, first thing I'm going to talk about is Serena Williams is going out of the French Open because she got an Achilles injury. So she's out. A lot of people looking forward to Serena being in it, but because she got an Achilles injury, she had to withdraw, which is really sad. Also, real briefly, Major League Baseball started yesterday. The Yankees blew out Cleveland. Houston beat the Twins. Chicago White Sox upset Oakland, and Tampa Bay Rays was number one. They beat the Toronto Blue Jays. And today, the crazy thing about today, because it's baseball and because they're trying to crunch in the season like we were talking about yesterday, they have 8 games on today. Never heard of a time when wild card series would start where they were going to cram in 8 games in one day. Usually they'll spread that out over 4 or 5 days, maybe a week or two, but they cramming it. Listen, they're going to make sure they do that World Series. They're going to get that in. But now let me get to the topic that I couldn't wait to talk about, because yesterday when we were on the air, Talent, you missed this conversation. We were talking about teams that what happens if they get affected with COVID, because yesterday the news broke about the Steelers and the Titans, you know, and it was possible people having the coronavirus. Today, the news was released this morning that the Steelers and Titans games will be officially postponed because they have some coronavirus people who tested positive. They have 4 players and 5 team members. Now, yesterday we were talking about what happens if a star catches the coronavirus. The funny thing is, when 2 people who were so-called not high up the star list, 2 players, DaQuan Jones and Bo Brinkley, they tested positive. They postponed the game. So I say to you, Talent, it looks like the NFL season is normally 17 weeks long, might eventually go longer than that unless the NFL has some kind of plan to figure out what they're going to do just in case. With that being said, what are your thoughts, man, what the NFL can and should? I mean, just tell me anything, the first thought that comes in your mind about the NFL because of this cancellation, because I know I could go on and on and on. What's your thought?
I don't think we're looking at a prolonged season, Frank. I think that they'll be able to make those games up. For example, they put them on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So I think you'll be able, because it's not a fan situation, we don't have to have just Thursday night football 1 game. We don't have to have just Monday night football 2 games. We can have as many games on any day. Like you just said yourself, look what baseball's doing. So if I'm football and I need to make up, it's just that simple. The only way it would go awry is if every week, every team had to get canceled for the week. So if everybody had to cancel every game in 1 week, that would push back an entire week. But if I'm just plugging games that's getting postponed and missed on the calendar, I can pull it off.
Okay, yeah, you could if you're an NFL executive, but Fig, going on what he just said, whether you agree or disagree, I kind of do not agree, because NFL players need at least some time to prep for the next upcoming game, and they need some prep time for their body, because unlike basketball, you can ball today, tomorrow. Football, you need some time, some downtime. So do you agree with Talent said, or you disagree? What's your thoughts?
Well, first off, I have to say the word for today is awry.
I missed you too.
According to what Talent said, and I'm listening to what you say, if they postpone the game and then they play on a later day during the week, then what's actually happening is the players are getting more time to rest and prepare for the game as opposed to less time, because they were due to play on Sunday, but now they look like they postponed the game to Tuesday, so they're getting an extra couple of days.
Not really, because the father got to play that next coming Sunday.
Tuesday is not 2 days past Sunday.
No, I'm saying because the next week, if they play on Tuesday or Wednesday, that game on upcoming Sunday, they have to play also. That's what I'm talking about.
That made that.
Well, no. Again, that's why I'm saying it only matters Okay, do you understand every NFL team has a 2-week time frame in a season because everyone gets a bye. So the bye actually gives you a 2-week time span in the season. So if I'm talking about, let's say my team, we had to postpone 2 games. That's still within the 2-week range that I got. I could play with those days. It's not more than 14 days. And I got 14 days when I come up on my bye.
Okay, I'll say this because I just was having this conversation with somebody else literally before I got on the air. I'll say this. If we're going with what you said, if I have a bye, right, coming up, and the team you're about to play already had their bye, now what happens? Now you're throwing off, the scheduling. Even though the guy I was talking to Dan, he was my friend Dan. He was saying, the thing is that that's what the NFL schedule people have to do. They have to figure out, with the bye. I just think that it sounds great to have this discussion now, but if you come up across a team who has a bye that's upcoming, and a team that you're about to play already had their bye, you're messing up the schedule. Now that team that
not necessarily. It's only a problem if it's a regular thing, Frank. If you got to do it here and there, it's not a problem because let's look at teams that got to play Thursday night football and then come back and play the Monday or the Sunday, or vice versa. Play the Monday and play the following Sunday. Like the days, sometimes that's every football team. At some point, they're going to have to work with less. So this is another case of them working with less.
Great point, but again, scheduling conflicts and everything else, and the issues with the scheduling. Because let me ask Fig what he thinks is scheduling conflict issues. Because again, now they expanded the season this year. At the rate that the virus is happening right now, it's already affecting 4 teams. So we're only the second, only going into the 3rd week in the NFL season. But if by the math that's going on here, 3 weeks from now, that's going to be every team. 3 weeks from now, you know what I mean? If the math is adding up like this, because right now it's the Steelers, it's the Titans, it's the Vikings, and then somebody else who else the Vikings are playing. But you get my point. It's already 4 teams. We're 2 weeks in, getting ready to go 3rd weekend. Fig, what's your thought?
4 teams now? I thought it was just
2 teams are affected, but the 2 teams that are affected are playing 2 other teams. So now you're affecting 4 teams and 4 teams scheduling. You see what I'm saying? So the Steelers and Titans are playing. The Titans are supposed to play the Vikings. You get my point? So it's affecting 4 different teams. You know what I mean? So So you pull one person's team and you go another person's team and they don't play. Now what happens to the other 2 teams that they were supposed to play?
I think that this is why we don't get paid to figure out scheduling. These guys get millions of dollars to figure out the scheduling, and I'm like, let them do it. Like it's like we fans are super fans, and we talk about the games, but we can't talk about them if they don't play them. So they need to figure out a way to play these games so we have something to talk about. Because there ain't no games, we ain't got nothing to say. Pretty much is basically what I'm trying to say. But listen, no, it's been a problem, man. But here's the thing: a few shows back, all of us talked about the fact that it may be a possibility where they end up canceling all of this because of COVID-19, the coronavirus, whatever you want to call it, and it seems like we're right at the tip of that, and we're just at the end of September, going into October. Who knows what can happen.
And that's a great point, excellent point. I will say this: I just don't see how they're going to figure it out. I've sat there and thought about it. If you start canceling games and everything else, this NFL season will go clear through February, might even go through March. That's just my thought process. If they're going to make sure they force the season to happen. Anyway, I want to start talking about a couple of other things, especially because we have a guest getting ready to come up. I want to start talking about the NBA Finals because the NBA Finals is tonight. It kicks off tonight. So before I bring in our guest to talk about the NBA Finals, I want to ask each. I want to start with talent. Let me just jump off this thing with you. We know the Lakers are playing in Miami, right? We know that. We've heard all the things, issues, and everything else like that. If LeBron loses, this has been a topic of discussion this morning. If LeBron loses, does this tarnish his legacy, or does he still get the props for his legacy because he at least made it to the finals?
I think he gets the props no matter how this goes. I think obviously it's a bigger accolade on his resume, and at the end of the day, as a superstar player. However, I think that he's showed blood, sweat, and tears throughout this whole bubble situation. That to be the face of the game and the big dude of the game, he put on his big boy britches and he went out there and got them to the chip. We've watched those series. It wasn't cakewalking them. People wasn't just handing it to him. he had to get out there and play.
Right.
And he had to get out there and play and show AD. He had to get out there and play. So win, lose, or draw. And this coming from a dude who always, every year I give you a problem talking about Bron. I'm not a Bron fan at all. But this year I got to say he played his way through this.
Okay. I think that you got to give him his props because it's 10 NBA Finals. But I will say this to the people who like to compare him to Jordan and everything else. I like to say, please stop, because at the end of the day, it's two different kind of players, two different type of errors, and two different type of accomplishments. But that's my thought. Fig, what's your thoughts on LeBron? Does this tarnish his legacy if he does not win the NBA championship?
No, I think honestly, man, LeBron is solidified as one of the greatest players to ever play the game. But what I think, if he loses it, look, first off, as far as I'm concerned, we should stop the Jordan comparisons like years ago. That's way years ago, but I'm on the other side of the argument. So if he loses this one, the thing that I think that it should do, which it probably won't, is his staunch fans should probably just give up the GOAT conversation. That's what I think that it should do. It probably won't, because they're going to talk about, he's been to 10 finals, but so has a lot of quite a few players have been to multiple championships, 9, 10, 11, 13. You know what I mean? Bill Russell went to 13, won 11. Magic went to 9, won 5. Kareem went to 10, won 6. You know what I mean? These guys have winning records. These are the people that I'm talking about. If you go to the championships 10 times and you lose 6 of them, why are we still talking about this GOAT conversation? That's the only thing that I'm talking about.
All right, well, let me get ready to bring in our NBA guest today. If you all don't know of him and everything else, this is a guy who's been in the NBA for years. My man, Cedric Ceballos, one of my favorite players, because I'll be honest with you, that slam dunk competition that he came in bruh, like said, thanks for joining the show. But I just want to say before we even get this started that was some great dunks, bro. I still remember them. Like, wow. But thanks for joining the show.
I appreciate that. Frank, but it's cool. Everybody got their flaws, and everything. You know what I mean? I know you just started being a Patriot fan too, like maybe about 6-7 years ago. You don't even remember when they was red, white, and blue. You don't even remember when they was red, white, and blue. You don't even remember that. I'm just saying.
I'm from Boston. I've been following.
Okay, there you go.
To win one game. I was going to get playing Steve Grogan, so but I'm waiting.
All right. You get a pass, then you get that's your handicap. You was born there. Okay.
I'm from Boston, so let me just start this conversation by asking you, because usually we have these conversations about NBA. Just all kinds of conversations. Doc Rivers got fired, which I didn't think it was fair for him to get fired. Being that you're in the end, you've played in the NBA. From your perspective, right? First question I have for you: should he have been fired? And because the Pelicans and the Sixers have called him immediately, where do you think the landing spot should be for him?
First things first, he get fired. They parted ways, and a lot of people they never really look into that. They always say, okay, he left, just like D'Antoni. D'Antoni didn't get fired. His contract was up. He a free agent. He bounced. I think the situation with Doc was championship or bust. But on the same side, there was a lot of controversy with his star players. I'm not going to shout no names out because I got my own organization I got to deal with. But there was some problems with there that he couldn't get on this page. And then he had a lot of personal friendships and relationships with players that were honest with him and saying, I'm out of here next year.
Whoa. Okay.
So if you're going to go to the table and you're supposed to be championship or bust on your second year and watch the free agent signings and everything, and your core nucleus is about to bounce, not your stars, your core nucleus, the ones that get you over the hump about to bounce, you like, I can't win a championship with those two dudes and the purple and gold next door. I can't do it.
Wow.
So he's like, let me not get fired. And let's come to some agreement and let me, walk away, and you guys are happy and getting yourself a new coach.
Now, before I throw the question to Talent, I'll just say this for the record. I've been telling these two dudes that Montrezl Harrell is out. I think you kind of confirmed it, but I ain't going to press you. Talent, you got a question for me?
Right.
I like his little bait and tease. That's a bait and tease, Frank.
Right.
Hey, Big said, what's up, DJ said? What's popping, brother?
Yeah, Talent, I see you, big dog. I see you. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I've been talent. You remember when we met, man? I'm gonna throw some history at you. The Peppermint Lounge, New Jersey, when Bill Bellamy was hosting.
Wow.
And we sit. I didn't even know he. I didn't. No pun intended on this one. I didn't even know he was a talent that night. We just was sitting in the back going, "Yo, this, and this," and just chopping up all kinds of stuff. And then they like next to the stage, and then this cat runs up, and I'm like, "Yo, that's the dude I'm just hollering at."
Yo, that was the good old days right there, man. So listen, my question for you, obviously I want to use your NBA expertise because we talk about it fan-wise, fanatic-wise, but you know, we come up with our opinion. But you for being an insider and that alumni, we just asked the question about LeBron. If LeBron doesn't win and he goes, does it taint anything? Does it tarnish anything? Me personally, I think I watched LeBron play like kind of his hardest during this thing. Like nobody handed him nothing going through this bubble thing. Right. And he went in there game in, game out, and we've seen some not so good games. But he thugged it out all the way to the end. What do you think about the end? Win or lose, does it change anything?
Yeah, I think it does if he loses against Steph Curry, against KD, but you know, no disrespect to Butler and Adebayo, but he can't lose to them. You know what I'm saying? He can go lose a finals. He can go lose a finals, but if he's losing to an MVP or prior MVP or somebody who's in the GOAT conversation, that's okay. But he can't go in there and lose to, you know, guys that just got into the All-Star game. You know what I'm saying? He can't go in and do that. No matter how good Miami is and how well they play, it's going to be a lot of pressure on him. When he hang them up, they're going to come back to this like, man, you lost to, you know, a team. You didn't lose to a Jordan or Russell or Kareem or Magic. Right. You lost to a team. So that's going to put a little asterisk on it, even though he went, you know, double digits in finals appearance. He's got to win this one, man. The other ones, they're going to throw out. When he lost to Tim Duncan, you know, Hall of Famer. That's cool. He lost to, you know, Steph Curry and the crew. They Hall of Famers eventually. That's cool. But, you know, I don't know if they're going to actually be Hall of Famers for their career. But at this point right now, they are just Eastern Conference All-Stars, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And not even starters. They're just, you know what I'm saying? They're just All-Stars. So, you know, you got to win this one.
I think you got a question for Zed?
Yeah, man. First off, I'm listening to your voice, man. I didn't know your voice was that deep, man. You need to do one of them late night radio shows with the Quiet Storm or something. I'm like, man, I'm listening to Vaughn Harper from back in the day or something, man.
Hey, he's a DJ.
He's a real DJ.
Oh man, that's dope, man. You definitely got the voice for it. The question I wanted to ask you, since you come from that NBA era where it was a man's game, and up until today, and you also know a little bit about the European game. So I wanted to ask you, does the NBA today, does it seem like it took on some of the characteristics of the European game and got seemingly a little easier than it was back in the day when you played?
Well, firstly, yeah, I had a Quiet Storm show for 7 years and I enjoyed it, but you know, basketball is what I'm supposed to be doing, so I went right to that. I appreciate the compliment. I feel a little funny getting that from another grown man. But it's all right.
No homo.
But yeah, you know, David Stearns saw the vision of the international play, and also to be honest with you, and I said this when Dirk came in the league. He was my rookie. I said to all the young fellas, to all the African-American young fellas, leave the entourage alone, take off the gold chains. They trying to change this league. It is too much dominated by us on the court. Not really. We already dominate the numbers, but it's dominated by us on the court because there's no way in the world, like this was Dirk's problem when he first came in the league. One, the language barrier. But he did not understand somebody that he did not know talking trash to him and coming at him. It would make him go like, what did I do to that guy? I don't even know. Like, you know, it would make him draw back. You know, like something. We had a guy on our team at the time in Dallas, Gary Trent. When we did our scrimmage, inter squad scrimmage, the first thing he'd do at jump ball was slap Dirk in the chest, and then Dirk, because he couldn't guard Dirk, but slapping him in the chest made Dirk defensive and scared and timid. But once he figured that out, obviously Hall of Fame career champion, MVP, and all that stuff. But the way the game was going, and like you said before, the physical, the real man's game, we would have dominated. It would have been two. It would have been, you got guys like you remember Derek Coleman, my man. He tried to implement the dress code. He whipped out a check. Here it go. It's blank. Take what you want. I'm gonna dress how I want. So you couldn't control. It was no control over us. We were just, we were too popular. Michael had put us, Magic had put us on another pedestal. They wanted obviously everybody to be the great one. Dr. J. Julius Erving, the way he conducted himself, the way he played, and he had like an aura or a glow about him every time, even in his later years. Even now, I mean, when he comes to all-star events and stuff, we all like, oh man, that's like, can I touch him? Can I put my hand on the doctor? But that era of hip hop came in, and the Allen Iverson, the braids, the tattoos, it was just there. Now it's really it's more controlled. Understand? They're used to that. And shout out to Pharrell, that Billionaire Boys Club. They understand that, even though those jeans are grungy and that T-shirt costs $2, but them J's he got on or $400 or $500, and he keep himself clean and all that stuff. That's just the way the era went. You gotta go back in the day when they even had problems with big Bill Walton, because he was so much of a hippie.
Yeah.
He was smoking the pot. He was, had his hair in the ponytails and, riding a 10-speed, wearing some floppy shoes and tight jeans and flower shirt. They even had a problem with that. But it's just a new era, and they wanted that. And then on the basketball court, the hand checking, the physicality, that they don't play like that overseas. There's a lot of animated flopping, a lot of all that going on, and that's where you wanted to sell this. The reason why it's $1 trillion business now is because you had to sell it worldwide. You had to put it in a situation where people in China loved it, people in Israel loved it, all over the globe. They couldn't get enough of it. When the dream team, the real dream team, don't let nobody else fool you, came in '92. They just opened up so many floodgates to opportunities for dollars for people to put their hands in the internet. So, it's just worldwide.
So let me ask you, man. We were looking at the NBA playoffs in the bubble. Scottie Pippen this morning said that it was like pickup basketball, and he said, it's not really like the teams are really, really competing in it. But my question for you is, mentally, do you think it had that big of effect on a lot of the NBA players as they was playing this year? And would the two teams who were in the finals be actually in the finals if we weren't in the bubble? Two-part question for you.
Yeah. First, what Scottie said, I don't know what he was watching. I thought that the competition was a higher peak because you can really hear and see people getting in each other's, getting in each other's ass. You can see it like, oh my God, they really going ham right now. Especially with my Mavericks, we started talking. You got Luka talking trash. I'm like, young fella, you talking trash too, especially to Montrez. I'm like, okay, so that's what's going on. But mentally, I mean, even myself, I had to go. Once we said we were coming back, that was June 1st. We said we was coming back. I flew back to Dallas, and then I'm in my condo quarantine. So I went out twice a day to walk. I went to grab some food and stuff, but that was it. And I was going a little cuckoo. So I could just imagine, what I'm saying, those guys and going through that and having that drastic change. I was missing my family, wanted to Zoom call and FaceTime and do all that. But you got to remember, I was in my own condo.
Right.
These cats is in a hotel room where, and then what's crazy about it? This is just off subject. How come nobody ever saw LeBron in the bubble? Did they teleporting LeBron out the bubble and he in a lavish area? Think about it. Everybody had pics of themselves. Even LeBron on his page, he only had pics in the press room, in the gym. Who knows what LeBron was during the bubble, man? He probably had the presidential suite, and he's like, look here, man. Don't tell nobody I'm in the suite, man, because everybody gonna be like, I want one like his. So
Yeah. So you think it did have some kind of mental effect overall? So okay, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Talon, you got a question for him?
I mean, Paul
man,
George, what Paul went through.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Came out and said, I mean, it's. I mean, this is something that our 4 lifetimes, we have never seen. We have never been. I don't know if any of you guys been incarcerated. I've never been incarcerated, so I don't know how that feels just to be in a room and can't leave, and you got stipulations, and even if you're incarcerated, even though prison is very dangerous, but leaving that cell may cost you your life with a sickness that's going around that some idiot that they give the 45 to, that doesn't know how to control it, doesn't know how to prevent it, doesn't know how to have a plan for it. So, this was a scary time in the world right now, especially the United States.
Yeah, definitely. We can't even call it, man. We're talking all over all these postponements and cancellations. Well, thank God we got the bubble, and I agree with you. We're getting some real intense basketball, some real competitiveness going on in there. If you had to pick your top 5 performers in this bubble, man, give me your top 5. You don't necessarily have to be in order, but top 5 performers in this NBA bubble.
Oh, I can put him in order. Number 1 has got to be Devin Booker.
Whoa.
Young fella with the work in that bubble, man. I don't know what he had, some bubble juice or something in there, but he went to work. I mean, they go 8-0. They go 8-0. He give up crazy numbers. He's shooting percentage. A team that's supposed to win the championship and supposed to be the best defensive team, the Clippers. He take them out on the buzzer with a double pump, turn around, twisty, fade away, and then he lay and fall asleep on the floor. Come on, man. Booker went to work, man. And then the young fella in Miami, shooter cat, what's his name? Hero, man, playing very well. And I'm talking about outside the norm. He didn't play like that during the regular season. Neither Devin had some great moments in his career, but in that bubble, those two are just playing unbelievable. Kawhi played pretty well in the bubble. I didn't think he came through Game 7, second half, but defensively wise, he had a lot of steals. He averaged up in the 25, 30s. AD had 2. He has a bad game each series. He has one bad game each series, and then they kick him in the butt, and then he gets his stuff back together. But he has an unbelievable bubble too. And
that was fine. You didn't mention Dame. What happened to Dame?
Dame
in your top 5?
I got to go with my guy Luka Doncic over Dame. I got to go. I got to go with Luka. Luka had the big buzzer beater. He had almost averaged a triple double. Dame did, Dame is up there, but I if I was going to bump, I would bump Hero for Dame, but I just think that Hero got himself to the final, so I got to give nods with the wins. I'm always giving a nod when you got the wins.
All right. Well, we promised only 15 minutes of your time. Before we roll up out of here, could I just ask you one last question before you roll up out of here? Could you tell everybody out there what you're doing, what you're involved with, what's your nonprofit, anything, and how we can follow you on this?
All social media is Ced Ceballos at all that stuff. You can check me out. Right now, I'm currently a vice president with the Dallas Mavericks, which is a very challenging job for myself because normally they do not. I think I may be the first a player of color to be on the business side of basketball and not on the player side. So. That's a positive, and I got a lot of weight on my shoulders because I want to make sure that we get more after me. Even if I do fail, I want to fail with a great effort. So they go, okay, he gave it a great effort. He just did not get it done. Let's go ahead and bring somebody else in because sports basketball. This is my 30th year in the NBA, and sports basketball is just a great business. It's a $1 trillion business, and we know so much about it because we grew up, like you said, you grew up in Boston. I grew up in LA. We know about sports. We talk sports. We get all involved in sports. So let's go ahead and start teaching classes. In college, start teaching classes in high school about this because they teach you about carpentry. They teach you about automotive. Those are all $1 trillion businesses. Let's talk about a situation where we can wear a suit and tie. Come to and entertain because it's about entertainment and you guys should know being comedians it's about the entertainment and it's crazy being on our side and I know you're trying to keep me off but being on this side you don't I understand more that it's entertainment that it is a show that is put on every night than before when I'm playing. My concern was basketball. I want to ball. I want to win. I want to get my numbers. I want to, if I win, I get my numbers. Then boom, the paychecks will come. But you don't understand the other side, and that's what I'm trying to teach the young folks. You got to know why we have these corporate events. You got to know why we need you out in the community. We got to know why keeping your nose clean and also being aggressive and speaking up for things that you don't feel are right and need to change, because this world needs to know that a lot of situations can be resolved in sports. And everybody's saying, all these messages that they're doing about Black Lives Matter and its injusticeness. And the reason why we really employed on doing it during sports, because think about it. You come to a game, the person in front of you, back of you, left of you, or the right of you, you don't know their economic status. You don't know if they're rich or poor.
Right.
You obviously can see that they're black, white, green, or whatever. But you don't know what this person is going through or has been through. All you know is, do you want my team to win or do you want my team to lose? Are you going to root or are you going to boo? And that's why for 2-3 hours, there's no racism, because as much as the most racist person in the world, as in Spike Lee's joint, would say, who's your favorite basketball player? Dr. J. Who's your favorite actor? Eddie Murphy. Who's your favorite? All these, and then Spike was like, see, all your favorite people are black people, but you can't stand black people. And that's the point, that in that entertainment value, and they put us in that entertainment box. In that entertainment box, you got to understand that you can love us that way. We need you to love us on that street corner.
Yeah.
We need you to love us in that boardroom. We need you to love us in that grocery store. We need you to love us on that plane or bus or whatever you're traveling. That's when we need you to do that. And then also, if you see some injustices and you know it, and I love Jane. Jane's my favorite activist. Little white lady just puts it out there. If you know and you understand how black people are being treated in America, and you don't want to change, you don't want to take our place, then you know it's a problem. So help us out, because we can't do it alone. We're only 13-14% of the population. We cannot do it alone. We're going to need the white privilege to use their white privilege against the white privilege. We need them to do that. If we're not going to solve this problem by ourselves, because we don't have the numbers to do it.
Right. Ced, thank you for joining the show. I greatly appreciate it.
Well said, all that. Right on point.
If I had known you was gonna be this good like this, I'd have asked you a couple of times to come on earlier. A couple of times, because this was really thought provoking. I really appreciate that, bro. Really appreciate you.
Anytime y'all need me, man. I'm good. Whatever.
All
right, hey man, and know that I love you, brother. And take care of yourself. Awesome job as always. That's my good friend DJ Cedric Ceballos.
I just don't know how y'all got talent on here and he don't have a Heineken bottle. How y'all do that? It's ridiculous. I saw him drinking coffee. I said, "What's the dude's getting old on me? He's getting old on me."
Look, I'm promoting. Look at that. That's my divided statement. I always got something promoting on. You silly as hell.
Everybody. That's Cedric Ceballos, y'all. Thank you for joining the show, y'all. That's my man Cedric Ceballos. If y'all don't know about Cedric Ceballos, then y'all don't even know nothing about basketball. Y'all don't
nothing at all if you don't know him.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you,
that was dope, man. All the insight that he gave us, man, talking about the sports and stuff like that, man. Absolutely fantastic, man.
Did I not tell you? He said without saying what I said about Montrezl Harrell. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Am I wrong? He said it without saying it. Because he couldn't officially say it on the record, because obviously now I know. I didn't know he works for the Dallas Mavericks organization, but he basically said what I did want to ask him about, the Sixers and the Rockets, and what a monstrous trade would be. Just to bring you up to speed, talent. Yesterday we were talking about, we threw out there monster trades. What would be a monster trade we could see happening for the season? But before I even jump into that, because it's the time, we can moving on with the time. I got to get ready to bring in my man Rodney Perry, because Rodney Perry always is our segment with I Disagree. Rodney Perry, what's happening?
RP.
I sent you a text message, Frank. You ain't see it?
No, I was working.
Right.
Sorry, I was working.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Anyway, let's get down to it. You guys are failing miserably once again. Let's get to it. Frank, do the intros, okay? This is a show.
Okay.
Do the intros, okay? Everybody know? No, they don't. We get new fans every day. Do the intro.
All right, I apologize. I'll do the intro.
No, don't apologize yet. I ain't finished. Serena Williams, she done had a baby. She might be done.
Yeah,
that's it. She might be done. Once you got that baby take all your vitamins and nutrients. Maybe she ain't got it no more. You know, she's still fine though. Shout out to the white man for breaking off like improper fraction. We talk about football. We losing games. I told y'all they was gonna cancel their damn game. They canceled that Pittsburgh game, and it ain't gonna be the only game getting canceled. I'm telling y'all, you can't move these games around like baseball and basketball. I think Frank said it. You can't move them around. I mean, you got the bye week, but it ain't really 14 days though, Talent. It's really more like 8 days, and it's like 8 or 9 days. It's not 14,
game to game is 14. I'm not talking about going back to practice. I'm talking game to game.
But again, it's still you can't move football around like that because football these guys need to recover. You getting hit by a car every play. Like you can't go. You know what, man? I know I get hit by a car, but I can play in 14 days. No, that sit your ass down somewhere for a little while. And it's the reason you had to buy. You had to buy to recover. All right, NBA. We should call it Sweet BA. This is the thing. I'm predicting LeBron sweep Miami. LeBron, AD, if they're at the top of their game, they sweep Miami. Anybody want to put some money on? Anyway.
Yes.
Sweep Miami. If LeBron loses to Miami, is his legacy tarnished? Hell to the yes. Let me tell y'all something. If LeBron, now, I agree with y'all saying, in the grand scheme of things, when you look back at his career 50, 20, 30 years from now, you're like, man, he had a great career. But right now, if he loses to Miami and in the next 2 weeks, a month, by December, he is no longer in the GOAT conversation. He is no longer in the conversation. But and look at this. This team, this Laker team with Bron and AD, they get one more good piece, they might be able to get multiple championships. I'm just throwing it out there. I know y'all disagree?
Yeah.
Are you serious? You don't think Rondo can get multiple? You still rooting for the fucking rinky dink ass Bell Bill DeFoe now?
Nah, they can really lose a lot of pieces, bro.
Who?
They losing JaVale McGee,
JaVale
Rondo.
clumsy ass McGee. Are you serious?
I have 5 fingers. I was going to go through about 5 fingers.
Well, let's stop at JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee play as good as I do. Me and JaVale McGee got the same amount of points. Rodney Perry, Fig, Khaled, and Frank Holder got the same amount of points as JaVale McGee. Are you serious? Okay,
Rondo.
give me a whole list.
They get ready to lose Rondo.
Rondo is 100 years old.
Rondo got them as far as they are now, Rodney Perry. I disagree.
You can find another journeyman point guard.
I disagree. I'm just letting you know. I disagree.
You can't find another journeyman point guard in the league right now. You can't.
I agree with you.
You can't find another journeyman point guard.
You can, but I'm just saying, with the 5 people they're getting ready to lose.
Okay, that's two. That's 2. I done debunked 2. Go give me 3 more.
Okay. Avery Bradley. He's gone.
Who?
Avery Bradley.
Who was that? Who the hell? Did he play? Was he in the bubble?
No, he wasn't in the bubble.
He wasn't even in the bubble.
He wasn't in the bubble.
He wasn't in the bubble. Okay, that's 3 debunked.
Now you asked me, I forgot the other 2. So,
they debunked 2. So that's 5 debunked it. The word for the day, Fig, is debunked.
Debunked it.
Yo, again, you only need.
Oh, Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, I feel like I've been raising my voice at you, Frank, and I don't want to do that no more.
Right.
You don't deserve this. Sometimes you just misguided. This is the thing. I think we all can agree that the Lakers this their year, they should win the championship.
Yes, I agree with that. They should.
If they lose, it will definitely tarnish LeBron's legacy. LeBron ain't got past losing to Dallas. I mean, there's a lot of people that look at still point to that loss as a blemish on his record, And so just because of that, if he loses this rinky-dink Miami squad, are you serious? Said it best. If he loses to Jimmy Butler, Django, if he lose to he might as well be playing against us. So, yeah,
you gonna look into the future? I think you need to look into the future to see the outcome of this.
You know what? That's a great idea, Frank. Because
I think you need to
you obviously can't see that far.
Yeah, I can't.
Let me go. All right. Hold on. Things ain't fitting right today, man.
The Lakers winning the championship this year. If you look into the future.
Hold on. Let me dial it in. Hold on. Let me go. All right, there you go. AD's on the AD. LeBron. Hold on. I'm trying to find JaVale McGee.
He ain't in their future. That's why you can't find him.
No, he don't. They say he don't even play this series.
Wow.
And they say he kicked the ball out of bounds too much. Look like LeBron them definitely win. It's not a sweep. Miami managed to win one game, and Avery Bradley. He's still not there. He's still not there. Man. So yeah, I think you got a point there, Frank. Also, sometimes I got to look at my real eyes, make sure it's working. So Patrick Mahomes catch COVID, and
Lord,
they make everybody else in the league get COVID so he can continue to play.
Okay, that makes sense. I can see that. I can see that happening. That's Rodney Perry, y'all.
It ain't me, it's the glasses. It ain't me, it's the future.
That's Rodney Perry, y'all. That's Rodney Perry. That's the man right there with the
God.
every day. So I disagree. Rodney, thank you for joining the show, bro. We appreciate you.
Oh God.
You got 5 people that the Lakers need that ain't LeBron and AD.
We're gonna have this conversation again tomorrow. And don't let the Lakers lose tonight. I will be calling you tonight, bro.
You call me now. You want? I bet you about that game tonight. Game 1.
You bet what? What you betting?
$50.
No.
Win game 1.
What's the bet? That what?
Lakers $50. Game 1 win.
No, I ain't betting that. The Lakers gonna win tonight. I'm just
You know what?
Frank
they
is
lose,
talking to me talking.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm not sure the Lakers gonna win tonight, but if I had to put money on it, I ain't.
Thank you for that, Frank. That's exactly
Great interview with Cedric Ceballos. He was a great guest.
Yeah, man.
Have him back, Frank. And you ain't got to tell him 15 minutes.
I ain't got what?
You ain't got to tell him 15 minutes. Just tell him we're gonna talk to you until we tired of talking to you.
Nah. No, I'm saying we promised to only do 15 minutes. I don't want to ask more because then they'd be like telling talent or whoever, like, yeah, man, you said y'all was only got me 15 minutes. Now I'm on long. You know what I mean? I'm not doing. Look, we promised 15.
But it also looked like we was throwing him off. He's like, y'all throwing me off. I guess I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? So
no,
we can talk about that off there.
Yeah, we do that. Everybody, that's Rodney Perry. We gotta get ready now to move in. Rodney, now we gotta get ready to move in with my man Stack because Stack. We always gotta check the facts with Stack. What did we mess up with today? Because I know we messed up.
You did. Nobody messed up on nothing but telling Cedric Ceballos that he only had 15 minutes. You know, we gotta remember this. This is box seats. Everybody wants to be in the box seats.
I'm saying that we promised for 15 minutes. If we go over, I don't want to seem like we prepping.
I get it. I get it. But this is the box seats. Who don't want to be in the box seats?
I get it.
Right.
I want to watch the whole game in the box.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's why I said we're gonna bring him back. We have to bring him back.
That was an awesome interview, though. I'm not gonna get into the Jordan LeBron conversation, but I'm just gonna say that LeBron losing this would definitely be a tragedy. The Dallas team that he lost to, I think that they really torched LeBron for that. But realistically, that was a great team. That Dallas team was loaded. They was like the first Warriors, the Golden State Warriors as we know them, with Steph and all that 3-point shooting. I mean, think about it. Y'all know Peja Stojakovic? Y'all know who that is?
Yeah.
Y'all know who Jason Terry is?
Yeah.
Y'all know who Jason Kidd is?
Yeah.
Y'all know who Dirk is?
Yeah.
Y'all know who Sean Marion is?
Yeah.
That's a squad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
there's a
lost
squad.
to a boat.
But you got LeBron James, you got Dwayne Wade, you got Shane Battier, you got Chris Bosh.
Battier's not even better than Marion.
They supposed to win
There
that.
was dudes on the bench that was
They
better
were
than Shane
supposed
Battier.
to win
Deshaun
that.
Stevenson, Caron Butler.
Goat.
Come on.
Goat.
Yo, all right, so but nobody ever likes to talk about the fact, and I know this is a sensitive topic for y'all. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that back in the 90s, the NBA had little slow white boys that wouldn't even make it into the fucking D1 today.
I'm about to
What's that got to do with?
Tell me, answer this question. What would John Stockton do with Russell Westbrook?
How's this got to do with Dallas and Miami?
What would Craig Elo do with Amari Stoudemire?
What has this got to do with Dallas and Miami?
Craig
Dallas,
Miami.
Let me ask you a question. Let me get us back on track. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, get back on track.
And I want to hear you all's reason. I'm gonna start with you, Talent. We all know the Lakers are supposed to win this series and everything else. If Miami wins, how will they beat the Lakers if they win? What's their chance of winning and how they do it? Talent, you go first.
Well, I don't think it's possible. I hate to say it and to sound like bad luck Jack, but for the favor to tip, somebody would have to be hurt or not play, and one of the power players for LA. That way, Miami does have a chance, and the competition becomes more even. If somebody goes down or, like we said, come up with COVID, whatever weird freak accident that need to happen to a potent player can tip the scale.
Okay, so Fig, will you agree, disagree with what he said, and you want to add on to that?
I think that Miami has a chance simply because they play a different brand of defense. I think their defense is strong enough to slow the Stars down enough that the others, the supporting cast, won't make a difference. I think they're going to turn this into half-court basketball, and they're going to make people shoot from outside to win the game. And that is not how LeBron and AD, their two strongest players, that's not their strongest suit. Right. like it's like what Belichick always does. He always takes away what you do best and then say, if you beat me after that, then, kudos to you. I take away the paint and then see what you can do after that.
I agree with what you said, because I think if they make it a perimeter shooting game, they could win it, but it depends if they are able to do that. Stack, what you think?
I think that this is going to be a series because Miami can shoot the ball. You can't call off 3-point shots, and like Fig just said about picking what your weaknesses are and exploiting them. LA's weakness is Miami's strength, which is perimeter defense versus perimeter offense. Miami swings the ball around. They use the pick and roll, and they got some shooters that are hot right now. Robinson,
right.
Hero, them boys can shoot it. So good
Last question. last question before we roll up out of here. If the Lakers lose, talent, does AD opt in or does he decide to become a free agent? I know talent thinks he's going to New York anyway.
He's leaving regardless.
Ask this question.
Yes, he's leaving regardless. The difference is, do I leave with a chip or without? Because he got to believe that there's a chip in his future, whether it's this one or a couple of years down the line. He's a standout player. He's a dominant player at his position. So I don't think he's worried about this. Is not a make it or break it for him as far as leaving. I think he's just going to leave. He's out.
Wow.
You think he's just out? Okay, all right. I'll leave you with that.
Yeah, it's a money. It's a money
Does
thing.
AD opt in? Yeah, it's really a money thing. Does AD opt in with the Lakers, or does he opt out if the Lakers lose the championship?
I think AD opts out for different reasons than talent. I would love, to see him come to NYC, but I think he opts out because next year LeBron is 36, and I don't think AD wants to be a standalone star for the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, LeBron's 36. I mean, he's not getting any younger, and I don't think he's getting any better. I mean, he's fantastic now, but for the long term, for AD to opt in for another 4 to 5 years, we know LeBron James ain't going to be at that level for 4 to 5 years. So who is there with him? He's going to be in LA by himself. That's a horror show, and I don't think he wants to do that.
Hey, I think once LeBron's gone, I think you hit the nail on the head. Once LeBron's gone, and then not to mention, we're going to have another COVID season, another bubble season at the beginning of next year. So that could change a lot of things too. Stack, what you think? You think AD opts in or opts out?
Guys, AD ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Okay. First, let's look at it this way. Okay, LeBron's been in the league 17 years, and he's still an MVP finalist. LeBron James light is just your point guard. You could just start LeBron at the point and build a team around AD. It ain't about money. AD been making money. He's already traumatized from being on crappy teams his whole career. AD's going to stay in LA. He's going to stay with LeBron. If LeBron does start to decline, I mean, you're talking about year 17, he's still an MVP finals, which is something that we've never seen before. But we're not going to give him credit for it until after he leaves, of course. But anyway, LeBron.
We never seen anybody with a hair like that either. But
no, you're right. You're right.
2020.
You're talking about everybody act like LeBron is ancient. I'm like, yeah, he's an older guy, but I mean, the dude
he's playing a couple more years. Yeah, he's playing a couple more years. LeBron's playing.
Yeah, LeBron might have another 7-8 years in him. Honestly,
no,
I mean, he's anybody's point guard.
Whoa.
Yeah. 3.
Listen, can I just?
This is a clean family show, Stacks.
Yeah. There's one piece that I wanted to add.
Go ahead, Big.
When you say that LeBron is MVP quality type player, I do agree this year. But the one caveat that we're all missing is that the stars of Golden State were out injured, and KD and Kyrie are also out injured. When they come back, the landscape of the NBA is going to look totally different as far as stars are concerned.
Where you going to go? Where you going to go?
What do you mean, where you going to go?
Where you going to go, to the Clippers?
No. The question was, I'll say it again. The question was, does AD opt out or does AD stay in LA?
It's LA. Who doesn't want to play in LA? Who doesn't want to be the man in LA?
Right. That's all the question was. The question was who stay.
He's staying in LA, guys.
Talent saying he's going to the Knicks. Fig thinks he might possibly leave. You think he's staying?
I think he's staying in LA.
I think he's staying. But because the option and the contract is huge. So but anyway,
come on, guys.
Yeah, we got to get ready to wrap up the show. We'll continue this conversation tomorrow.
Staying in LA, man.
He's staying in LA. He's staying. Talent's the only one who think he got to the Knicks. Like, why he gonna leave a championship team to go to the Knicks? Okay?
He's staying in LA. I mean,
but I love Talent. That's funny by itself. Talent. I'm gonna let you get the first.
I don't understand how y'all don't understand the business part of this. You know, we get caught up as fans and just looking at the ballpark. This is a bigger business schematic for his brother. This is a different picture. So he's got to be looking at his future. Who's not? When you're up for a raise, who's not looking at their future? I love LA. LA's always been second best. But when it comes to making your money, maximizing your profit, you cannot make more money in LA than you can get in New York. And that's a fact.
It's a grave. New York is a graveyard. Anyway,
well, you keep thinking basketball stacks.
Yeah,
but
think money.
LA is a marketing move. That's why LeBron went to LA.
Okay, we got to go.
The next thing?
We got to go. Talent. Tell everybody out there how we can follow you. Even though
it's just comedy on Twitter. It's just Talent the Comedian on IG and King Talent Harris on your Facebook. All right,
Fig.
Comedian Fig on all social media platforms. I'll be hanging out with Talent's page this week for sure. You guarantee that. I don't care what nobody. I'm gonna be on that page. You can follow me there.
y'all can find me at Stacking Over. It's just sports and common sense. You know what I'm saying? Instagram and Twitter at Stacking Over.
All right, before we roll up out of here, I got to thank Friday Perry for joining the show, but most importantly, I got to thank our guest, Cedric Ceballos, NBA, ex-NBA, and now Dallas Mavericks executive. Got to thank him for joining the show, too. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, we're going to have another special guest. Can't tell you who till we lock it in. I'm Frank Holder. Make sure you download the Human Real app. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And make sure you just check us out. We're on all devices, and if you can call your cable service provider to add the channel, that'd be dope, too. We're on the Humor Mill channel. This is the show called The Box Seats. We're on every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 2. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for joining the show. Talk to you.